Okay, here we go. Ready? Here we go. We've already started, so but just go with me on this. And we're live! Welcome everybody to whatever the hell episode it is. This is the pandemic edition of the Crafty Boys, where beer is hard to find, and beer's getting hard to find. Which reminds me, I don't even have beer here on my desk at the moment. Peanut Gallery, could I have some beer, please?
I tell you what, Shane, just get a glass full of oats and barley and hops and just munch on it.
Just eat that and nuke it right beforehand. Or no, wait, that would be bad.
Yeah.
Hi, yes. Everyone's here. All four of us are here. Look at that. Everyone over that way.
Yeah.
Locke, thank you for staying up really late on your end of the planet. And Dave, you have internet.
I have internet.
When did you get? How did you get internet?
I am wireless. I'm not plugged in.
How did you get internet so fast? Because you just moved like last week.
My lady already had her account, right? So she just said, "Hey, bitches, change it to this address."
And so somebody came out and like did it, or you just had to plug stuff in and away. Hey, girl.
I guess it's a remote thingy where they just punch some buttons and magic shit happens and it has to. Yeah.
That is the best description of the internet I've ever heard. Magic shit happens and stuff happens.
It's a series of tubes, you know.
So we've got beer all over the place. Locke, what beer have you been drinking on this fine evening?
So I am literally down to my Robinson's Trooper. I have placed an order for liquor delivery, but they won't be able to get to me till Saturday.
Wow, that is awesome. How does that work? So you call up a number and then they're like, we'll be there. Is this like the brewery or a liquor store?
Well, no, actually, you don't call a number right now. You can normally, but because of COVID-19, what you do is you go online, you place your order on their website, they email you back confirming, and then they let you know when they can arrive. Normally, this would be like within the hour kind of thing, but...
Wow, really?
Life being what it is right now, it's, Saturday.
So, I have a question for you. How often have you actually done an order for liquor to your home?
This would be the first time.
Oh, this is the first time. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was just curious if this is like something you've been used to, something you've done.
When this was starting up, I bombed down to the LCBO and stocked up. So I've been doing pretty okay for the last couple of weeks, but yeah, this represents the last of the beer.
This petty cash here, or this fantastic meal here, represents the last of the petty cash. Alan, am I quoting that properly?
I think so.
Pretty close, anyway. So I'm rocking out, of course, to something from across the street in, by the way, fine crystal. I don't know what beer. Hey, what beer is this, Allie? What did we actually pour? Thanks for jumping out. It's a beer that was in a mixer pack, so who knows? It's one of Red Truck's finest that I'm very used to drinking. So
Northeast IPA.
Oh, it's the Northeast IPA, so that makes me even happier. Hey, Locke, you're out of frame, man.
You went in?
Oh, and what?
There we go.
Good. Yeah.
So, Alan, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking something we've done on the show before. I went back and looked. It was episode 122 from November 2017. It is the Sapsucker Maple Porter from Fernie.
Ah, okay. That was actually a decent beer. That was not a bad one.
Yeah. You know, it's a good beer. Not as it's kind of comparative, but not as good as that maple porter that we had from Cannery a little bit before Christmas.
Right.
2015, which tasted, we all thought it tasted like pancake. This one here has a more subtle hint of the maple flavor, but it's definitely there.
Nice. And of course, Dave, what are you drinking?
I was actually gifted this. Sent a picture to you guys earlier, but
Oh, the Lion ESB
the Lion ESB,
from who?
Yes,
Ooh.
this happens to be from Silver Valley Brewing.
Where's that?
Yeah.
Maple Ridge, apparently, according to the can.
Huh.
It's out in good old Maple Ridge.
Nice.
I wonder if
What
that's
is it?
Maple Ridge, isn't that like in Burnaby?
No, Maple Ridge is northeast, I think, from Burnaby.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a little more like Surrey.
No, you're still heading northeast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of got an idea then. Yeah, all right.
You got to head a little further out towards Abbotsford. There.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I got this from a buddy. It's he would actually be very appropriate for the show. He's a pretty serious beer guy. And
Oh, really?
he happened to drop this off when I saw him last. That was pretty cool of him.
nice.
Yeah, and it's actually
So basically, you had beer delivery, just like Locke.
I had beer delivery. Yes, I did.
Yeah, sweet.
I've actually been holding on to this for like two weeks or something. I was gonna see if you guys could get your hands on it, but you know, frickin'...
I mean, the can looks familiar. I don't know if it was exactly that beer, but I'll take a look. You know, because right now going to the liquor store is like taking your life in your hands, apparently. So,
Yeah, well,
you know what I'm going to do? I'm sure that Liquor Plus probably has some sort of ability to have home delivery. I'm curious. I had not looked at it.
They do not.
They do not.
Individual breweries do, but it seems like the retailers do not.
Well, I
There's
mean,
going to be some clever
is there not a
entrepreneurial
dial-up
type
service
that
go
goes
to
out
those
and starts a business?
retailers?
sorry, what about retailers? Like, you're talking like
Is there
the
a dial-a-bottle or something?
Well, there
Dial-a-bottle.
are, given what's
Like
going on,
third-party dial-a-bottle.
there are some restaurants who have managed to procure product from breweries and the like, and have actually gotten permission. They've changed the laws for right now so that restaurants can now deliver alcohol to customers who phone in and order food and liquor.
Yeah. They're doing that in Ontario as well, yeah.
They couldn't do that. I mean, so this is brand new.
I just looked it up online here, and there is a service in Vancouver that covers Vancouver, North Vancouver, West Vancouver, and Burnaby, called the Liquor Valet.
Oh.
So the Liquor Valet, you apparently can place an order,
Valet.
pick your delivery time,
That's
and pay.
that's it.
So yeah, so it looks like, but of course, I'm very curious. So, okay, if you guys are to buy beer right now, here we go. They have They have Big Rock available. So Big Rock Traditional Ale. How much would you think you would pay for? What's an HD bottle?
HD bottle.
I don't know what that means.
HD
bottle.
Bottle?
HD has got to be. That's got to be a big bomb. No, I don't know what the actual HD.
That must be a bomber bottle, I would suspect.
Yeah.
But a Big Rock, I will assume, bomber bottle of Big Rock Traditional Ale is $12.25.
What?
A 6-pack
big of a bottle are you
of English Bay Pale Ale from Granville Island is $15 for a 6-pack.
What? Oh, for a 6-pack. Okay.
Yeah, that's a 6-pack.
Okay,
I'm not sure this HD bottle is.
That's what it normally costs, though. I think, isn't it?
So my suspicion is that there must be some sort of tip thing. Simply browse through large inventory of cold beer, wine, spirits. Select your favorite beverages to be delivered. Pick up your delivery time, or choose your delivery time, which would be scheduled between Monday and Friday, between 9 and 4:30, or you can schedule it for the following day. All deliveries ordered after 4:30 may not be honored, and most likely won't after 6. I don't see anything about there must be a fee. I don't see the fee. Where's the fee? How about?
Yeah, so standard fee in Ontario or in Toronto right now is $9 on top of whatever your order is. But where they ding you is there's a $3 surcharge if you use debit and a 10% surcharge if you use credit card.
Wow, so cash speaks vodka.
A lot of places aren't accepting cash right now.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that we don't necessarily have the full on, because people are afraid to touch things you've handled, right? So
yeah, well, that's kind of a good point, isn't it?
Here in Victoria, a lot of the breweries I find are charging about $5 for delivery, and there's a lot of places are donating that $5 to a charity to do with the coronavirus pandemic. So it's either going to like local healthcare things to buy PPE or whatever for those people, or going to the food banks or whatever else. So yes, there is a delivery charge here, but it's nominal and it's going to a good cause. So
yeah.
So Dave, would you ever consider getting home delivered alcohol?
Did you not just
almost
say
would?
Did?
Almost would. Because as I was saying earlier to you guys before hit the air, or the intertubes, sorry.
The intertubes.
I almost feel like a criminal going into freaking grocery stores right now, so I would consider delivery for that reason.
Right.
And hey, makes life easy. Who doesn't want to get booze delivered?
It's true. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, grand scheme of things, I don't know what the hell I'm saying. The film, or not the film, the book, sorry, not in the film, but the book of Ready Player One, our society in the future, basically, that is what pretty much most people do, is stay home, and everything is delivered. You buy it online, and it just shows up at some point. People don't really go anywhere. They just kind of hang out at home, plug into the Oasis, as it's called in that universe, and that's kind of it.
So if everybody orders stuff, if everybody stays home and orders stuff, who delivers it? And who's working in the warehouse to get the thing ready for it to be sent? And who's manufacturing?
Yeah, that's what they call an essential service.
It's computers.
San Dimas High School football rules.
Drones, I suspect, in the future will probably not be battery operated like they are right now, and although the odd gas one, of course. But I would think, we would have some sort of drone delivery service.
Okay, drone delivery service, but somebody's got to be working in the warehouse to pull it off the ship, put it in a box, and put it on the drone. And somebody's got
Terminators.
Manufacture this thing.
Terminators. What else? What else is there going to be in the future? Terminators. I mean, that's really what it is. It's going to be like a room filled with, or warehouses filled with glowing red-eyed monstrosities that go around going.
That rubber skin. They spotted them.
But these are new. They deliver faster. They pack boxes. And they absolutely will not stop until your delivery is there. No, I think that they totally would. Could you imagine, like, knock, knock, knock on your door, and you open up your door, there's a Terminator and just the robot chassis standing there with a box in its hands going, "You have been delivered."
Speaking of robots.
Yes?
Yes.
Is Dave a robot?
Hmm?
Did Locke die? Oh, apparently Locke's toast. Locke, come back! Locke! That's okay. We've lost a good one today. He was a great beer drinker and alcohol fiend, able to tell us everything.
Wait a second. His parting words were about robots, and then he froze. Like
I think he was referring to us going silent. Yeah, there we go. And he's gone. And he's back. You went away there for a little while, Locke, but you come back. I'm very glad.
Okay, was I doing silent voice?
No, you stopped. You said, "Speaking of robots," and then your face froze, and that was it. We lost you after that. and then you went black, like your camera vanished, and then you came back and you were back again. I'm hoping he's not frozen again. Are we still silencing for you, Locke?
No, sounding normal.
Excellent. Dave, take off your pants. So, Dave, how you got to tell our loyal viewers, how was your move? You've moved in the last 7 days. How did it go? Was it exciting? And did you hurt your foot?
Shane is actually referring to an old injury that I got helping somebody else move like a month prior-ish, or 2 months, I think it was, wasn't it, Shane? Something like that, yeah. You rolled your ankle while carrying a refrigerator or a couch or something? No. I tore muscle in my calf. At first, it sucked. At first, people were a little concerned that maybe it was tendon. Fortunately, it was not, because apparently that really sucks balls. You're looking at surgeries and stuff.
Well, yeah,
I am glad there was no surgeries involved. So yeah, the move, our timing was probably about as good as it could have gotten, really, because yeah, now the ferries are starting to shut down. We were able to get our truck no problem and get on the ferry no problem, so all of that stuff worked out. There's a little bit of fun on this end, which is part of the reason you're seeing all of this ridiculousness behind me. We haven't been able to get everything sorted out yet, but other than that, it worked out all right, especially given the weirdness that is the world right now.
And are you still working from home?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I assumed you were, but maybe not, since they may have changed their.
Totally, dude. There's 2 noobs that started today, actually, and
oh wow, noobs.
Not entirely sure. There must be some excitement for them, because apparently they were getting their equipment delivered to their houses. So, yeah, I can't imagine having to deal with that. You've never seen this equipment before, and here it is, and now you get to figure out how to put it together.
You've never seen equipment like this before.
It's fucking huge, man.
I gotta say that's pretty cool. You get to work from home like that. Maybe you can work that into a gig as being your full-time deal. You can be like, I work from home all the time.
Yeah, possible.
I like I was saying last week, there's definitely going to be a reckoning of, are all the meetings that we have really necessary? How many meetings do you have in your average workday there, Locke?
Me, myself, usually, let's say 1.5. I mean, it really depends. Week to week, that changes radically. It depends on what's going on. If there's a bunch of stuff that's really going on, then 3 a day kind of thing.
Okay. And how long are they on average? Do you think?
Usually between 20 minutes to an hour and a half.
Really? Okay.
It depends on what it's about, who's involved, how many people are in the meeting, you know. But I mean, we've been doing all of those, you know, just conference calls.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are doing video meetings?
So I'm just sort of second chair, listening in and taking notes. But
right. But you're still present in there. Sorry, what were you going to say there, Dave?
What was I saying? I can't remember. It was something about meetings.
Some about meetings and stuff. You know, things. What about you, Alan? Do you ever have to bounce around the world of working? Or sorry, not of working. The working world of meetings. Like, do you have to attend?
Rarely.
Well, that's too bad.
Meetings are for the upper level people. I am not upper. I'm on the level that is in the scum that sticks at the bottom of the shoe of the people in the upper level.
So basically, you are unnoticed?
Largely.
Actually, what about you, Dave? What
there can be bonuses to that.
Oh, true.
I am very much on the bottom rungs. Yes.
What about you, Dave? What do you with your fancy job? Because you've been there 2 months now, 3 months, something like that. 5 days?
No, I'm gonna say more like a month and change. I'm still pretty fresh at it, so.
But do you have to go to how many meetings in the average work day do you have to go to?
Pretty much 0.
Nice.
I had a meeting. We held one meeting, I think, early last week. You know, check in with everybody. How are you surviving being at home? And that was pretty much it.
You know, I gotta say that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. Definitely, meetings kind of blow. Unless if you got real business in a meeting, then hey. But generally, yeah. Oh, and I remember the question.
I generally get called into meetings only if they really need, they feel they need the opinion of a low-level guy who does the dirty work, and that's usually in a crisis situation. So,
hey, call that peon from Sector 4G.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, what's he do? All right, presses a button. Okay, just get that guy in here. We got to talk to that guy because actually, you know what's really interesting? I was slamming away at a project yesterday, and it was later in the day, and your brain starts to kind of shut down close to the end of the day, and I was sitting there going, I really want to get this done. So I spent an additional hour or two working away, but I had the Paul Hogan story, which was this Australian, the ABC, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, had this thing last January or February. So it was just an hour-long thing, and it was about how Paul Hogan got his start and all that kind of stuff, because he just turned 80 last year. So I thought, oh, that'll be interesting to watch. And so I learned a couple things about Paul Hogan. He got married at the age of 19 and had, by the time he was 19, he had 3 children. Or 20, something like that. Anyway, he got married really young and had 5 kids by the time he was 25. And the other thing I learned was he started his career in 1972 while working on that big famous bridge in the Sydney Harbour. It has a name which I don't know what it is, but he was a rigger. He was painting, cleaning, maintenance, that kind of stuff on the bridge. And at some point, he ran into some producer somewhere who was trying to create a segment on Australian TV where they had the opinion of the average Joe, the man on the street. So they had him come in. They cleared it with his employer. Did can we have him come in at 3:00 and for an hour to give us an opinion or whatever on the thing? And that's what he would do, multiple times a week. He would do this, and that's how he got noticed, because as he apparently was incredibly popular, and they just kept having him come back, and then they decided he needed to do other things, so he had his own sketch show and stuff like that when he was, 1975, 6, somewhere in there.
I actually saw a clip of that sketch show on YouTube. It showed up in my feed for some reason. And I watched it. It was very sort of Benny Hill-ish.
Oh, it's totally Benny Hill. Absolutely. Yeah. That was actually what they were talking about in the show, was about how sexist the show was. But then the lady who was talking about the sexism said, but that was Australian TV.
Sexist if it's Australian.
No. She was like, it was very sexist, but at the time, in the early 70s, that was the style of TV in Australia, and she compared it to the BBC. So Benny Hill was on it around that time. So that sort of, the women are always wearing revealing clothing and are not necessarily there for much else other than
because nobody does that on Netflix.
No one does that at all. No, not in this day and age. At least now they're completely naked. Come on.
Nowadays, now we're sexist against men.
So it was very interesting just to watch this whole thing, because they had a whole bunch of sort of little snippets of his time back then, and I gotta say, he was talented out of the gate in a lot of ways, and then he basically retired. He after I think the second Crocodile Dundee film, he wrote a couple of other ones like Lightning Jack and other stuff, but kind of after that I was like, they're not doing very well. They make their money back, but I'm gonna retire. So they retired in the late 90s with the gazillions of dollars, I imagine. But so he did very well. But talented, I gotta say, you don't see talent like that that often.
Have you guys seen the trailer for the new Crocodile?
Oh, the Australian tourism thing with Danny McBride and whatnot, and Chris Hemsworth and whatnot.
Not a reboot.
No, it's not a reboot. It's
no,
not stupid. But Hogan is in it. Basically, I think as himself. Is that right?
Well, the Australian government, I gather, in the last couple of years, decided they wanted to recapture that whole thing remember I'll put another shrimp on the Barbie for you, that thing. Yeah. Remember that?
In the 80s.
In the 80s, yeah. So they did that. They wanted to recapture that, and so they attempted to do so, and it came Chris Hemsworth is in it. Basically, if there's an Australian actor or actress, they're in this advertisement in a variety of different roles. And Danny McBride, that comic actor, plays the son of the son of Dundee or something or whatever. So yeah, it was interesting. It was very interesting. I was actually fearful that they were going to do another Crocodile Dundee, because he actually addresses the third Dundee film in that special, and he said somebody gave me too much money and they offered to me, they gave me too many things to do it, and I did it, and then as soon as I was done, I was like, that was a mistake. Why did we just do this movie? And he's very happy that very few people know that there was actually a third Crocodile Dundee film. By the way, the title is Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles, and it's 10 years later after the second film or whatever, and he's living in the middle of nowhere in Australia somewhere with his the female character, can't remember her name, whatever.
That calls it whiskey.
I was trying to remember the character's name. Sue. And they were married. They had a kid who was roughly 7, 8, 10-ish, somewhere in there. And they decide to... I've forgotten why. I think she got a job offer of becoming like the head of some big magazine in Los Angeles. So they decide to go and move there. So pretty much enter everything else that you've probably seen in the other two films happen in that film. And I'm proud to say that I went with my sister to see that in the theater back in 2001. Sorry, my desk just attacked me. At the Capitol 6, of all places.
The Capitol 6? How is the old Capitol 6?
It's not called the Capitol 6 anymore. It's called something else, Alan. What is it?
It's actually still called the Capitol 6.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
It was changed to Empire Theater. And then when Empire Theaters closed, it was actually going to get torn down. And then a guy who is part of, I can't remember the name of the chain. There's a theater chain in the States. It's huge. And he's the son of one of the owners. And he spent a considerable amount of time in Victoria, and he found out that the Capitol 6 was going to get shut down, so he bought it, turned it into a theater again, and recalled it the Capitol 6.
Oh, nice.
And it has the fancy, nice chairs in it, right?
It does. Now, I have heard whisperings that it's not doing well, and it may end up closing.
In the middle of a COVID-19 pandemic, I could imagine it not doing well.
I would imagine there's no theaters doing very well right now, considering there's nobody there.
And that actually brings me to something. It's like, our theaters, even the big ones, are they going to survive this? Like, if we can't go to a movie theater for months, and we discover that, and the movie studios discover that they can do stuff to pay-per-view at home, and probably turn around with better profit margins, will we ever go back to the theater when this is all?
I think the answer is yes, but that's as somebody that's previously been a program director and run a one-screen movie theater. That's maybe optimistic, but I like what's going on right now is not going to last forever. Sure. When we're on the other side of this thing, people are going to want to go out and do stuff in places other than their homes more than they did previously, because they're going to be sick of watching things in their homes. They're going to be dying to get out and be in a room that's sort of, a novel experience. But it is going to probably have an effect on, which theaters are around and which ones aren't. There's a lot of the plaza that I used to work for. They're probably fine because they're a heritage building, so nobody could tear it down if they wanted to. On the one hand, all it's good for is being a movie theater, and what it takes to mothball that if you're not paying film rentals. You're not paying for heating. You're not paying for they can pretty effectively mothball that place, and it'll just sit there without really costing a lot. It doesn't require a great deal of maintenance, if you see what I mean.
All right, fair enough.
Whether that's true for all theaters, I question. I don't know what that means for a Cineplex must be scratching their heads right now. I mean, what does it mean for them? I don't know.
Well, you can tell that Cineplex has definitely been feeling the pinch because a few years ago they started doing that whole live from the Met thing, where there's live theater being they're streaming it live supposedly, then having replays for a certain period of time after that. I noticed. They're also doing movies from the past, so they're playing flims. They're playing flims. They're playing movies from like the 80s, the 70s, and 80s. But the last time I was looking at their list, which was only a few weeks before the whole pandemic, was films from the 40s and 50s. So, which I find very interesting because I realized a little while ago, looking at the Disney Plus catalog, that they own Firefly, and I sort of started digging into the Fox history of like what they made, and Disney now has access to not just Disney Fare, but so many films. Like 20th Century Fox, 21st Century Fox, or whatever it became renamed as. You know, like all of it. Like it's shocking how big their catalog all of a sudden is.
The other thing too is if you tune into Turner Classic Movies once in a while, you realize very quickly that, my God, films used to be much more psychologically and you know, they used to be much more sophisticated in terms of writing. Okay, fine, the camera angles, maybe not. Maybe it didn't have a lot of CGI, but the sophistication in the writing was considerably more impressive and engaging than what you get, you know, in another fucking Spider-Man reboot.
Yeah, the very first film done by 20th Century Fox Films was Dante's Inferno from 1935. Wow. So you can see that they've got stuff all the way to, you know, till now, right? They're still making movies now.
Chain? Is that a silent?
Is it? Let's take a look. No, it's probably a talkie from Spencer Tracy, Rita Hayworth. Loosely based on the Divine Comedy. Has a famous 10-minute depiction of hell. But yeah, it looks like it was 9 hours long. How long was this thing? But yeah, I mean,
it make long films back then.
Yeah, they totally did. I remember going to the opera 10 years ago now, probably, and it was the Girl from the Golden West, I think is the title. And sitting there through the first, what I thought was the first half, turned out to be not. When the intermission after the first hour hit, I thought, wow, this is a long production, wow. And then over the speakers, you hear, "This is the first of 3 intermissions." And I'm like, I'm out. Out the front door. I looked at Allison and I'm like, do you want to stay for the whole thing? Because then you know, you're looking at the program in more detail, like, oh my God, there's 4.5 hours left. You know, I could watch Star Wars, Empire, and almost all of you know, the first half of Jedi. Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't amazing, but you know, there's only so much Italian screaming you can handle when there's people walking around with spurs and big 10-gallon hats and the whole thing, pretending they're in, you know, the West, the frontier or something.
That sounds crazy.
It was very crazy. I think The Girl from the Golden West, I think is what the title was called. The Girl of the Golden West. Yeah. Okay. So here I'll give you a quick summary of this. It's a Puccini. You know, if you know anything about opera, you should have heard of Puccini at least once. But yeah, it was made into a film in 1938. Wow. Starring Nelson Eddy. Wow, cool. Yeah, it's a really long opera. Originally called, of course, Le Fanciulle del West. An opera in 3 acts by Puccini, blah, 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 based on the play by the American author David Belsacco, followed by, wow, cool. Anyway, really I don't know a whole lot about opera, so I'm going to leave it at that. But essentially, really long, lots of great singing, and of course, it's being sung in Italian, and I don't speak Italian. Hey, Allie, were there subtitles during that production?
Yes.
I don't think there were. I don't remember there being, because some in operas they have they project
the spaghetti western way too far.
You know what? It totally was. That's exactly a good way to describe it. An operatic spaghetti western. So just picture, like any spaghetti western you've seen, like Fistful of Dollars and a few dollars more, and then having like instead of the music and the the eye looking and the twitching hand by the gun, it's like, I'm going to shoot you in the face at some point, and of course sung in a language you don't understand. So I will stare at you for 28 minutes. And then some lady comes in and sings, and I will be at home and I won't know what's going on, but it'll be fine. I'm sure he will come home soon. And all that kind of stuff. So, and what? You were bored, yeah. And Allie was really bored. I think she was the one falling asleep. I was trying to sit there like being, I'm at an opera. This is the first time I've been at an opera. It was also the last time I was at an opera. I should learn something about this art form. And it's like, if it was being sung in English, it probably wouldn't be as good. But I know there are a ton of people out there that just love operas, and they will, sit there for many hours enjoying it. Speaking of operas, I just want a brief shout out to your sister Locke, who did sort of go through the whole operatic thing for a few years back.
Toured China for a couple of stints, I think.
Yeah, so it has an audience. It really does, and I wish I was in there, but maybe I just haven't found the right opera. Maybe they don't produce too many in this area of the world, so maybe I should go to Europe for a little while. Yeah, I should go to actually, I'm not going to go to Italy right now. There's just no way. But
I have seen opera in Italy, and here's the thing about opera in Italy: it's not like opera in Austria. Opera in Austria is a very serious affair. You wear, you suit up, you sit still, you don't ruffle your hair, you don't breathe too loudly. Wow. Very, very serious affair seeing opera in Austria. Seeing opera in Italy, they're vendors selling chips. Yeah,
that's awesome. It's like going to a bullfight.
Drunk horses on stage that are about to go off the stage into the orchestra pit. It's totally different. But it's awesome.
I remember, like first or second year, taking like theater history and stuff, and learning about the stages and how they did a lot of staging back then. Where, for a long time, there was this idea that theater productions wanted to have a sort of 3D effect, so the stages were built really deep, and you had like different layers of paneling and decoration and scene pieces and things that all moved. So if you were sitting on one side, you'd have a different sort of look, and then it was fascinating, absolutely fascinating, really expensive to do. Like, holy crap! But it went long before television, long before radio. But it was very cool. I got to say, learning about that kind of stuff was really neat. And a lot of them burned down and killed their entire audiences. So But that's back in the day when we were all innocent little babes in the woods, and Dave,
Yeah, it's not like going to see Great White.
Hey, has anybody heard about the lead singer to I want to say Gwar, not Gwar, a band like Gwar? He has COVID-19, and he was in, or whatever it's called.
Rory Calhoun?
Oh, I was thinking about this the other day because I read that he was in the hospital, and Locke would be the only other person who would know who he was. Lead singer to a well-known sort of thrash metal band.
That wear crazy costumes?
Yeah, they do.
I want
to say Gwar, but it's not Gwar. It's
the only thing that comes to mind for me is Slipknot.
Slipknot, yeah.
Something like that. But anyway, so yeah, somebody you'd know of at least has been.
I'll have to check in on that. Now here's one that bothered me a little more. John Prine is no longer with us.
Yeah, I saw that.
What?
Yeah, COVID-19.
Nuts. Oh wow! I just saw that. Sorry, my computer is freaking out. Joey Batista?
Who?
Do you remember the band Mulatto? Back in a while ago?
No.
Oh, well, never mind. Ramstein, that's right, that's the band.
Oh.
Hey, update. Just a couple days ago, he has tested negative for coronavirus. Okay, good. So he's just in the hospital for just, I guess, normal things. Wow. Weird. Okay, so there you go. Ramstein. That's what I was trying to think of. Anyway, guys, we've been going for a while, so I think we'll leave it at that. Locke, thank you again for being here, and go to bed soon.
I think this is the first time I've made it through an entire episode nursing one beer.
It's a school night. But anyway, for anybody who stuck with us or even showed up to say hello, thank you for coming by. And Dave, thank you for getting internet faster than I suspected. We'll see you guys next week, and maybe we'll do a stream on Saturday like we did last weekend. So we could do it earlier in the day. Sorry,
I'll have beer by then.
Excellent. That's right. Send me a message when your beer arrives. I'll know that we should start thinking about it.
Yeah.
But until Saturday or next week or whenever, we are the Crafty Boys, and thank you all. And don't forget to share about the show and all that kind of stuff. And until next time, Alan, take us out.